On December 13th, 2010, a state of emergency was declared near Sarnia, Ontario that would stay in effect for 4 days. Hi, I'm Chris May, host of This Day in Weather History, a podcast from the Weather Network in Canada. And today's episode is accompanied by a podcast video short that you can watch either on TV in Canada on the Weather Network or online anytime and anywhere you are at theweathernetwork.com/weather history. Shot right here in my podcast studio, it features the episode being made with video and photos from the event from when it happened, so be sure to watch that. Yes, it would take the better part of a week to remove hundreds of trucks and cars and clear huge snowdrifts that made the 402 and other roads across the district totally impassable from a storm that happened this day in weather history. In all, 600 travelers were stranded for as long as 48 hours on southwestern Ontario's Highway 402 because of the extreme winter weather conditions that moved in and over the region that day. Winds gusting as much as 70 kilometers per hour easily whipped around 30 to 40 centimeters of snow, creating massive drifts while also causing dangerous whiteout conditions with minus 25 wind chills. This could have been a whole lot worse had people started getting out of their cars trying to fend for themselves, but the quick thinking of police and a local radio station were responsible for saving everyone's life. All but one, but I'll get into that a little later on. First, the OPP, Ontario Provincial Police, closed Highway 402 from Kerwood Road to the U.S.-Canada border just before noon because even at that early period and with the full daylight, the road was too dangerous to travel.
It's the worst that I've ever seen it. My 23 years of policing and probably all my life as a Ontario resident.
In order to get to stranded and trapped motorists, the Ontario Provincial Police had to use snowmobiles to get around. Seeing that this was simply not enough, military Griffin helicopters were also called in to assist. In an official statement released by the OPP, it was said, quote, "Police rescuers are experiencing extreme weather challenges in reaching stranded motorists. However, they remain vigilant in their resolve to get stranded motorists to safety." They went on to say, "Everything possible continues to be done to rescue those stranded by this storm." End quote. Meanwhile, west of the city of Guelph, police there were responding to what amounted to a record 543 collisions in 24 hours, and all caused by whiteouts and icy roads. They, too, had to resort to off-road four-wheel drive vehicles and snowmobiles to rescue stranded motorists.
We're farmers in the area. Basically, we went out to see if anybody was in great danger. We pulled out some trucks, some cars.
We thought we'd go for a drive, seen these fellas stuck, so we're just bringing them some coffee, tea, and sandwiches.
Back near Sarnia now, EMS workers were unable to actually even get to some calls in the affected Lambton County because plows simply couldn't clear the roads because the snow was too deep and the high winds reduced visibility to zero. Roads were impassable, but getting to them was impossible. Local radio stations CHOK, AM 1070, FM 106.3, and FM 99.9 are, at this point, essentially converted into emergency alert centers as the only way to communicate with the stranded motorists to get them the latest rescue updates. They were told to stay in their cars and try to pool vehicle resources until rescuers worked to reach them. They were also encouraged to make sure that their car exhaust was clear of snow so fresh air would be supplied to the inside of their vehicles. Where the snow was just too much and there was no way to get to those in distress, paramedics had to work in concert with local physicians to instruct patients over the phone as to what to do to help themselves. To try to keep the situation from totally unraveling, Sarnia police urged people to just stay home and at all costs stay off the roads.
Stay home, unless you got a John Deere.
There had already been too many stranded vehicles blocking roadways, and that was holding up road clearing efforts in the more rural areas, and by association, this was aiding in preventing police from helping troubled motorists. Now, about that one person who died in the storm. It was determined that 41-year-old Neeland Rumble passed away from hypothermia on the first night after his vehicle got stuck in a snowdrift. It was said that he did not have a cell phone on him when he walked towards a nearby farmhouse to call his parents and borrow a pair of snow pants so he could get to his job at a solar farm that was a mere 250 meters or 273 yards away. Neeland was found in a snowdrift the next day. Police believe he became disoriented in the severe weather that started this day in weather history. Tomorrow is December 14th, and this is when, back in 2002, a Norwegian car carrier ship sank while she was carrying 2,862 cars. But the MV Tricolor couldn't just stop at one accident. She was involved in 2 more incidents after she sank. Be here tomorrow to find out how this is even possible when we gather again on This Day in Weather History with me, your host, Chris May.